Hey everybody, welcome to the channel, glad to have you here. Today we have a Vampire versus Norsca matchup. Um, and I am bringing Kemmler, of course, who doesn't want some Krell action. He does have a White King buddy running along. I've got a main line of Graveguard with great weapons, and one of these is the Sternsman. You can see I've split up my healing very deliberately. So you can see over here, these two are going to be buffed by Kemmler's very small aura size. And then these three are going to be buffed by the Mortis engine, who has a much larger radius. And so that's why 5 Graveguard is kind of the key here. It allows you to get all the coverage you need. And you can see I'm kind of fleeing here. Just because I need to wait like 2 minutes for Krell. So here comes Norsca. They're going to just come straight at me. I've got 2 skeletons up front just to kind of meat shield a little bit. I have the Varix Reavers over here who do have regeneration. I've got some skeleton spears. I got 3 of them. I got the Dire Pack as well for some anti-large. And I also do have just a regular Black Knights lances with barding over here to support this side. If we go over here, we can take a look at my opponent's army. 2 units of Norscan Ice Wolves, I think always a good bring. They've got some Skinwolf Werekin. He's got a main line of spears to kind of just hold. And then he's got some Javies behind with a Shaman Sorcerer of Fire, which is a good bring against the vampires. Fire damage is always useful. He does have a Frostworm up in the air with the Guardian ability. And he's got a Feral Manticore. And then, of course, up here you can't miss him. He does have the Maherd of the Blood Fjord. And these guys do have this enrage mechanic, and they're pretty good. They do have pretty low armor, 38 as a feral mammoth. He's got just a regular Marauder Chieftain over here, and then he's got some Marauder Champions right here. So you can see those guys with their big ass, cool hammers, super cool. But you can see now my my Winds of Magic has hit max, so I'm gonna head into battle here. See what I can do. Trying not to let my cav go forward. That's what I do all the time, is just kind of let my cav sneak through my own line before the lines engage, which is definitely not the way to go. And you can see over here, I figured he might go after this Mortis engine, so I positioned my White King here in the middle so he could kind of respond to whichever threat. And you can see I'm moving my anti-large in on the guys, on the Great Maherd, and you can see the Frostworm is going to be coming down here and just landing on the Mortis engine all angry like. And then I'm just going to swarm it with almost everything I got. I'm going to pull my Varix Reavers in, I'm going to pull my spears in. I'm just going to try and swamp this thing. Over here you can see a nice Firestorm is going to be dropped. And nice targeting there, right on kind of the Sternsmen, who do have regeneration. So cool. Look at those poor skeletons just get tossed around. But he does get, I think he gets a very bad luck with the Vortex here. Over here you can see I'm swarming this Frostworm. My spears are coming in. My armor-piercing Varix Reavers are coming in. I do have this White King, who's also armor sundering. But nice job supporting with Cascading Fire Cloak, punching this guy's damage up to 713, and that melee defense up to almost 80, which is incredible. But you can see I left my Dire Pack in here to do the anti-large, because they do have an incredible anti-large, they just can't really do anything to armor. So I knew that this was definitely the best target for them rather than this guy. The Feral Manticore would also be an okay target, but the Frostworm with his 120 armor, not the best. Here you can see they are getting shot by their own flame cannon. And over here I'm going to do something a little bit brave. I wanted to get these Ice Wolves off the field, so I'm going to charge them and then bring my spears in to try and hold this flank out. And you can see I do something very sneaky here. I summon Krell in these guys, and it's going to stop their charge, and it's going to allow my great weapons to get a free, essentially, rear charge on these guys. And Krell is going to be pretty good at cutting through. Oh man, look at him just popping out of the ground all angry like. Very nice. So yeah, you can see this poor spearman losing decisively. And you can see I've just swarmed this stuff. And you can see a lot of reinforcements waiting to come in. And nice Mortis engine over here. Action. And yeah, you can see here, look, these guys are going to get essentially rear charged by these Graveguard. So you can see popping Undeath Resurgence, so all these guys have that extra melee defense. And yeah, so you can see there that charge did a chunk of damage off those guys. And of course, as per usual, summoning stuff to stop him from throwing things. And you can see here I am dropping huge invocations of Nehek on this big blob because he's invested a lot of resources over here. So I have to deal with that somehow, and so I'm going to be dropping them. And I'm hitting the largest number of units I can. And in Steel Faith, Invocation of Nehek costs so much money that unless you're hitting like 8, 9 units, it's not really worth it. So over there, definitely worth it. And over here you can see I'm just straight losing. But that's okay, I don't really mind. He's got a Werekin over here, so I really didn't think I was going to win anyways. Over here you can see these Marauder champions are slowly being whittled away by this combo. And you can see my Skeleton Warriors are doing a nice job, and you can see I've cracked right through this Spearman line, which is good. And you can see these guys still working around the flank. But you can see I've done a number on this Frostworm with the Varix Reavers, with my Spears, and the Perpetual Drain here from the Mortis engine. I'm doing good work. And you can see there he's definitely not attacking what he needs to be attacking, which is the Mortis engine, just because of the inundation. Over here I get a nice cheeky charge on these Norscan Ice Wolves. I've come to just hit. These guys are terrifying, and I will go to almost any lengths to take them off the field. So there you can see that's my attempt. And I saw that this side was flanking, so I pulled my forces through, and instead of continuing them here, I pulled them off to my weak side because they're a pretty self-sufficient unit, so I wasn't too worried about them. And then I pulled Heinrich Kemmler over here to double stack that regen. So all these guys are getting the regen from Kemmler and the Mortis engine. So yeah, let's take a look at, like, say these Dire Pack right here. Oh, you can see that one of the healers just went away. But there, Chaos Tomb Blade, replenishing hit points. Reliquary Binding, replenishing hit points. So, yeah, they're essentially stacking that healing. And then also, I'm periodically casting Invocation of Nehek. So, this is a pretty terrifying combo. Over here, you can see I did get rid of those Ice Wolves at a great cost. And I'm going to be trying to pull my cab out this way, just to drag those spears away. You can see my Sternsman doing a pretty good job, but these zombies just did not do anything to these jabs, because look, they have pretty good stats, and a pretty high weapon strength, so they're just kind of cutting their way through these guys. It does take them a while, and you can see these javelins, even though I sicked these skeletons on them, really they haven't taken that much damage. But, you know, I've taken out this Manticore, I've done a ton of damage to this Frostworm, so it is looking pretty good for me. But that's just kind of to showcase the current summons in Steel Faith are pretty weak. They took a massive debuff to just kind of hit points, to melee attack, to weapon strength. Over here you can see Krell is just getting knocked around by this Skinwolf Werekin. Skinwolf Werekin will kind of take out most things, and so he is not going to do very well in this fight. You can see doing almost no damage to this guy. Over here you can see the Sternsmen are kind of winning that fight. There goes the Frostworm to the Perpetual Drain. So I still have this really strong pocket, and you can see he did bring back these Ice Wolves to catch these guys, and then he's going to bring these spears in the back. So these Varix Reavers are definitely dead. And then you can see my Warhounds are going to sense blood, and they're going to come straight after these the Great Maw Herd. And then look at just how quickly they nip at their heels and take them down. Oh, it's just so cool. Yeah, so these mammoths are out of here. Oh, man. Oh, it's so cool. So yeah, the Dire Pack are essentially just made to take out feral mammoths. You can see 3 mammoths down there as they kind of nip at their heels. I should be drawing them back here pretty soon. Oh, man. There we go. Look at that, just like scattered remains of mammoths. And so yeah, you can see over here Firestorms being dropped again, taking out a lot of my chaff. My Varix Reavers over there are dying, and I pulled back my Dire Pack. You can see the Javelins are firing, doing a good amount of damage. And then also the Skinwolf Werekin is in there. Oh man, did we miss Krell? Yeah, there's Krell. He got taken down by that Skinwolf Werekin. Where is Krell? He's dead. He's super dead. Anyway, so I spawned some skeletons just to inundate this guy, and I'm going to pull my Mortis engine out. Definitely a good tactic. And you can see I'm just kind of trying to take out whatever my big blobs come to next. And you can see my spears are, of course, going on the large target of the Werkin. You can see this Marauder Champion just kind of like wading through my Graveguard with great weapons. You can see the Spearmen actually holding out pretty long. And they should just trash my Skeleton Spears. Oh man, look at these guys, they actually won! 4 Varix Reavers just kind of running around, being all angry. I think he must have pulled his spears out of there. But you can see just how long this Skinwolf Werkin takes to die. And you can see over here, my kind of goon squad. I love running Kemmler with a White King, just because he's fast. He has a little bit more mass than Krell, so he can kind of actually protect him by blocking movement. Whereas Krell just kind of gets knocked around like everybody else because he's on foot. Yeah, there you can see Skinwolf is going to rout, and it's going to be a close victory there. So yeah, you can really see it was just the main line doing work. My Cav just kind of held stuff down. My Dire Pack did pretty well. Skeletons meat shielded, spears did what they needed to do. But yeah, really just, it was limiting these large units to just a few kills. Man, look at these javelins. 245 kills, 116. All that chaff just like cutting through there. You can see those flame storms racked up that fire shaman. Around 200 kills. You can see these spearmen did okay. Even the Marauder champions got a decent amount of kills. And they were not even in the best engagement for them. But yeah, anyways, great game to Crazy Mofo. And anyways, thanks so much for watching, guys. That's that.